Governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, has called on the Independent National Electoral Commission to do the right thing by being fair and ensuring a level playing field in the Ondo State governorship contest slated for the 16th of November. He stated this in Akure during the flag-off of the PDP governorship campaign and presentation of flag to the party's governorship candidate and former deputy governor of Ondo State, Agboola. Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress in Ondo State says that it has unbeatable structures across the state to defeat other political parties in any election. Spokesman PDP Governorship Campaign Council Benson Enikwome joins me for more on this. Good to have you join us on the program.
It's a pleasure being here. Good afternoon.
Well, the governor of Oyo State, of course, a staunch PDP member, Seyi Makinde, has called for the removal of the resident electoral commissioner in Ondo State. Do you toes same path?
We are on all four with him, on the same page, absolutely in absolute agreement with him. It cannot be less than that. Because as at now, the relationship between Mrs. Toyin Babalola, who is the resident electoral commissioner, with the APC is unbecoming. And it gives us elections have been held in this state. The PDP has never raised such an issue as this in Ondo State. Go through the record. We have never.
But why are you raising it this time?
Because Mrs. Babalola is tainted, hosts national meetings with the governor and members of APC.
Any evidence to support that claim?
Well, the evidence are too obvious in this regard. A good number of the APC members are people that she's school with in Akure. She is from Akure. She's been in Akure since her days of youth. We don't have quarrel with her being resident electoral commissioner. But what we are saying is this: if you are going to be resident electoral commissioner, you can be resident electoral commissioner in the state of your birth, in the state where you have stayed for so long a time, and we see you wine, dine, and move around. Bring a neutral person from any other state.
But the campaigns have been on for quite some time. Why is the PDP just thinking this idea up?
No, it is because of what we have seen. We've raised this quietly. We have written to INEC, Professor Mahmood, on this matter. One of our solicitors had written to him in this regard.
When was this?
This will be about a month or two ago. And we raised the issue. This woman is doing some clandestine meeting with our opponent. For goodness sake, except there is a plan, a grandstand plan to say, oh, we want to do it that way. If they do, we for one in one of the programs I attended to say, we will not sign the peace accord. We will not. We are not frivolous. Some of the staff in INEC in Ondo State have been removed. Not because they were sacked, because they are from that state. They have been taken to other states. Why is Mrs. Babalola retained there? The governor raised this issue. And you know Governor Makinde is not a frivolous person. Neither am I. I'm 30 years old in the legal profession. I don't talk anyhow. But we are saying, remove this woman for this period. How many days will it take? Today is what? Today is 19. Between 19 and 16. When you are finished, bring her back.
You said you've written to INEC. What's the response you got from INEC?
But people want to do evil. They'll be silent.
Have you considered doing a follow-up?
Of course, we've done another one. The secretary of the party has written again. Mr. Olujimi has written another letter to the chairman of INEC saying, our lawyer wrote, we have written, do something. If they do nothing, let them not bring the issue of Edo State to Ondo State. It won't work.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, you know the shenanigans that took place in Benin, in Rivers State, in which a party member of APC was seen in the police helicopter hovering around Benin. That issue was raised to the public domain. Where this place, and we cannot get the result, and we will get the result of Ajangbati. It will come in. The result from what do we call it? A place like Aja will come.
What if the population here is actually higher than the other? You know, that could also be a factor.
It takes a while to bring the people from that end to this place. Are you saying the population that was recorded in Esako over 34,000 compared to the one that was there where INEC office was situated?
Another guest is joining us on the program, this time via Zoom. Steve Otaloro is the Director, Media and Publicity for the APC in Ondo State. Good to have you join us, Mr. Otaloro. Let's get a reaction to the call by Governor of Ondo State, Seyi Makinde, for the removal of the resident electoral commissioner in Ondo State.
Well, ordinarily, we don't have a problem with that. Our major concern is the election, for anyone not to affect the integrity of the election. But it's equally of concern when you have a sitting governor from Oyo State during their rallies come to Ondo State to say that the rec chairman should be removed. I think it's not within his purview to do that, to accept that. If it's coming from the candidates, will have been a different thing. I'm just hearing it for the first time. He said they reported this to the national headquarters of INEC.
Well, Mr. Otaloro, if I may quickly butt in, Mr. Otaloro, he is a chieftain of the People's Democratic Party. He's one of the sitting governors. So don't you think he actually has that right and capacity to speak on behalf of his party?
But he's not the candidate of the party. This is Ondo State. He's not even the national chairman of that party. He's a sitting governor. And when the governor is saying such thing, it carries a lot of weight. And people will be looking at it differently, believing maybe the whole process has been affected, which is not true. This woman said, INEC came out to say this woman is from Ekiti State. And you are saying it's from Ondo State. That is one narrative. The party equally come up with a position to say that woman held a meeting with the candidate of APC, that's Mr. Governor. This is not true. When you are coming out changing your narratives, you call for concern. It's like you are already preparing your defense if eventually you lose out in this election, which is going to happen anyway. So we look at this as they are just play games. They are playing politics. Let's face the real core issue.
All right.
Come up with your programs and policies and stop this attack.
All right, Mr. Otaloro.
Every other time.
Okay, with me here in the studio is the spokesman of the PDP Governorship Campaign Council, and he has mentioned that their legal team has actually officially written to INEC, making this demand, because you seem to be concerned about the fact that this call is coming from Governor Seyi Makinde, who is not a candidate in this election. But here is the spokesperson saying that the governorship campaign's legal team has written to INEC, but are yet to get any response. How do you react to that?
Yes, whatever will affect the integrity of this election is what we are against. We are very concerned equally if what they are saying is true. So we expect INEC to do the needful. You wouldn't expect somebody from Ondo State to conduct an election from our own state. If it's a valid point, if that is true, the true position. But for INEC to have come up to say that this woman is not from Ondo State, you are not in a better position to tell us where this woman she's from. They said she's from Ekiti State, but you are insisting she's from Ondo State. Well, it's left for INEC to take a decision. But we are only bothered that anything that will affect this election, that people will start using as excuse, is what we are more concerned about. Not anything, not all these smaller issues that are surrounding this election.
Well, let's look at other issues now. It's less than a month to the Ondo State governorship election. It comes up on 16th of November. Mr. Nikome, let's talk about security for the election. What is your assessment of the level of preparedness of security agencies to secure that poll?
I go to answer that. Mrs. Babalola lives at number 3, Majekom Dumi Street, Ijoka, area of Akure town, and she has been there for ages.
She lives there. Is she from there?
No, even if she was not to be there, she's schooled in Ondo State. She has been from Ondo State. She has stayed in Ondo State for too long a time not to have a friend. We have alleged that her friendship with the government is giving us concern. I'm grateful that Mr. Otaloro said they will be happy. What is INEC losing? Is there anything going amiss? Are there no other commissioners from Delta, from Akwa Ibom, from Cross River, from Ebonyi, from anywhere that could come? Why will INEC insist, except there is more to it?
Let's talk about security.
Okay, for security, well, it is the duty of INEC and the police and officers who are involved in security to make that ready. For us, we are not going to cause mayhem. We are talking to the people. We have itemized our issues. 7-point agenda we have. We talk about security. We talk about agriculture. We talk about infrastructure. We talk about education. We talk about health. We talk about youth and women development. And these are issues we have laid bare to our people. And I must say this. When a man is in the saddle, he should be saying, I have done this. A driver should not be saying, this is how I will drive. When you are in the saddle, you should be saying, I'm already driving. Governor Aiyedatiwa has been in the saddle for up to 4 years. And now, 3 years for deputy, almost a year now, as governor. The question will be, he should not be giving us promises. He should tell us, oh, on road, I have done this. On health, I have done this. But what he does is to tell us, I will do this. With the humongous amount of money that have come to Ondo State, I appeal to our people, shine your eye. If it takes a man 3 years to prepare for madness, if he's going to run amok, let us imagine how many years he will do that.
This is the first time Lucky Aiyedatiwa will be vying for the office of the governor. Yes, as deputy for...
And now as governor. Yes, as deputy. Now
as governor.
If you have acted as governor for more than 10 years, more than 10 months, and you have gotten more than 120 billion naira.
But you know, your candidate in this election was actually deputy.
Of course he was. Of course he was.
So what can he point to if you're talking about Aiyedatiwa here?
Well, unfortunately, Akeredolu is late. For whatever anybody says now, you'll be just about a person like me. You know, I was senior special assistant to Akeredolu on oil and gas, at least for 1 year. I know what transpired in that government. Whenever any decision was going to be taken, Agboola Alfred Ajayi, deputy governor, was an engine room. Note, he was former chairman of the local government in Ondo. He was a former supervisor in Ondo. He was a member of the House of Representatives. He is not a greenhorn.
Well, Lucky Aiyedatiwa...
He didn't come in as a greenhorn.
Lucky Aiyedatiwa too might then not be referred to as a greenhorn because he has also been in the system. But I would really like...
But there's nothing to show now that he's governor. Now that he's governor,
you know, within the time that he's been in power,
my dear,
is it that you haven't heard him talk about it or you haven't seen?
Have you not heard about governors celebrating 100 days in office? And they will say, we did this 100 days. This man has spent more than 300 days.
What is better, media fanfare or reality, actual, infrastructure for the people to see and experience?
Media fanfare, we will still be grateful. There is no reality, there is no media fanfare.
Let's bring in Mr. Otaloro. Let's talk about security in Ondo. We know that the Amotekun Corps, has been working over time, and the issue of kidnapping, all of those we still hear about. And we know that Ondo State has very, magnificent terrain. Talk about waterways, talk about hills and all of that. Are you concerned? Are you bothered about the security during this election?
Well, anyone will be bothered. That's the fact. But we hope it won't go out of hand. We believe the security operatives will get it right. That's our belief. But narratives like this that will hit up the polity is what we are much more concerned about. That Aiyedatiwa has done nothing. Let me address that issue. That's not true. This man has just been, he's not up to 10 months in office. He became governor on December 27. A few weeks now, or a few days now, will be 10 months in office. And he has done a lot to show for. And that's what we are bringing before the electorate. It's not just an empty promises. And in spite of the fact that during this campaign, we've been able to tell Ondo State people some of the things we intend to do. You know, across the 3 senatorial districts, the governor flagged off several roads projects. At Ilaje, his own local government, he has flagged off some roads. Why INEC is not saying this or he's not saying about this, not talking about this, it marvels me a lot. You are aware of that road, the ongoing project is about to be completed. Several roads within the Idori, he has flagged it off. And of course, I told you, this man is just 10 months, almost 10 months in office. He just released 3.5 billion naira for the renovation of schools in all the 3 senatorial districts. He has pumped in about 3-point-something billions into road constructions. I told you, all these things take processes before you could get it done on paper. You know how civil service works. Before you could deliberate over all these things. But the truth is, Ondo State people know who is working for them, and they could see the light at the end of the tunnel. They know that this man is trying to build his own legacy. He's already giving them all the indicators shows that he will do better by the time he becomes the governor, come November 16.
I hear you, Mr. Otaloro. Yes, there's a question I need to pose to Mr. Enikwuomenyi. You have said that your party will not sign the peace accord.
If the INEC resident electoral commissioner is not asked to step aside for now for this election, so that a neutral body, a neutral person can come in.
But don't you think that single act could actually heat up the polity, get your loyalists to begin to make some assumptions?
What does INEC lose? What substantial damage does it cost to them to bring somebody from Jigawa or Sokoto or any of these states to do that, compared to the PDP, of the totality of PDP in Nigeria saying we are dissatisfied with a particular officer? But if you are not having something fishy on the ground, and I'm grateful to Mr. Taloro, he said, if that will allow everything to work well, so be it. That is it.
So it means they are open to it.
Of course, everything is not crying.
But importantly also, it's not only in Ondo State that there will be calls for the replacement of the resident electoral commissioner, and where it would not happen.
Well, if it does not happen, we have our cogent, convincing, and compelling factors and reasons for which we will not put our head to the Golgotha to be slaughtered. Mr. Taloro raised an issue. Governor Aiyedatiwa and I are from the same local government. Governor Aiyedatiwa and I are from the same ward, Ugbo Ward 4. He is from Obenla and from Obienikan. The distance between the two communities is less than 1.5 kilometers. We know ourselves. So I know of Ugbo, Ayetoro Road, which Dr. Olusegun Agagu began and got to Ogbonla. Dr. Mimiko did a little. Our man has been in the saddle. Ayetoro is under siege. Water has taken Ayetoro.
Should he focus only on his local government?
Why must he not focus on his own local government? All of them focus. Akeredolu, focus in Owo. Mimiko, focus in Ondo. Mimiko, when he came, he established the University of Medical Sciences and all that. When it was the turn of Baba Adekunle, Adebayo Adefarati, he established university at Akungba. Nigeria is turn by turn Nigeria Limited. So when it is your turn, this is the area where oil is produced in Ondo State. The people expect you to focus on it. That is why a good number of us are crying. This man does not have the capacity, the capability, the ability, the strength, and intellectual acumen to run the affairs of the state. Show me a man
Mr.
in the
Eniko
morning, you can know what he will do in the evening.
I hear you, Mr. Eniko, but if all elected representatives do that, then don't you think that the issue of nepotism and all will become up? But let's go to Mr. Otalo. It's less than a month to this very important election in Ondo State. Talk to us about what your party hopes to bring to the table.
Well, before I say something on that, let me equally tell Dr. Eniko that he has just have to be patient. All those people he mentioned had 4 years mandate before they start attending to issues that has to do with their community. This present governor doesn't have that mandate yet, and he has to be careful. And that's, I believe, exactly what he's doing. But if Ondo State will give him this 4-year mandate, Elijah will become paradise. And the people that's why his people are quiet, they are aware of what will come, and that's more reason they are rooting for him. It will come, definitely it will come. Elijah, it's your turn, the Southern Senatorial District, and I believe the governor will attend to it at the appropriate time. Having said that, to your question, you see, we are in government presently, and we'll be rolling out a lot of plans. Imagine the governor just told all the civil servants in the state that they'll be getting 73,000 naira instead of the federal government negotiated 70,000 naira. That's a cross. They are aware if this governor will not be elected, the coming administration will unturn this. So we believe they are going to vote for us. And if you look at the way and manner we are opening up roads, we are opening up constructions, we are trying to put some things together across the 3 senatorial districts. It is very likely, not just likely, it is very sure we are going to win this election. The way and manner we are campaigning, we are not just campaigning with big rallies all over. No. In Akure local government, for instance, Akure South, we were in Akure South local government yesterday. The governor went to about 6 different places to campaign. Pockets of people, talking to pockets of people, and actually looking at the issues on ground. And telling them what to do, what he's going to do by the time he gets elected. So we are looking at a situation whereby our messages will resonate with the people of Ondo State, and by special grace of God, come November 16, APC will be elected. We are going to deepen the ground. We are going to improve on what is presently on ground.
I hear you, Mr. Otalo.
The former governor has done, we are going to improve on it. And of course, Aiyedatiwa's own legacy is going to build his own legacy as well. So it's very important. He knows he has 4 years to do this, and he's going to do it satisfactorily to the benefit of people of Ondo State.
We don't have much time left, Mr. Otalo. In just about 15 seconds, Mr. Eniko has said that if the REC is not removed, his party, the PDP, will not be signing the peace accord. What's your reaction to that?
It's probably PDP is the only party calling for the removal of this woman. PDP, Labour Party spoke on this program sometimes. They said they are not really bothered. It's the integrity of the election is what is much important. And if they think it is this woman that will affect the integrity of this election, let it be. But the fear is, if a political party keep calling for the removal of an INEC official, it's very dangerous for our democracy. That's the only gray area in this. But we believe with this woman or without this woman, Ondo State people are going to decide for this election, not any other person. And instead of the PDP diverting all their energies to campaign to the people of Ondo State, they are making too much noise about this woman. But to give them peace, if INEC decided in their favor, so be it. We hold any questions about that. Don't hold anything. But we believe INEC should do the best for this election. That is the important thing. Not whatever any other political party is saying.
We really do need to go now. I must sincerely appreciate you both gentlemen for being a part of the program. Spokesman, PDP Governorship Campaign Council, with me in the studio, Benson and Eniko, and the Director, Media and Publicity of the APC in Ondo State, Steve Otalo. Thank you so much for your time on Standpoint today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here.
Well, that is Standpoint this week. Remember, you can watch the repeat broadcast at 11 p.m. today and 5 a.m. on Sunday. Thank you for watching. I am Abosede Adeniran Aderemi.